feel almost as if it's their duty to tell you. They feel like, you know, all wrongs are righted with the world when they tell you how shit you are. Haters are everywhere. They come in all forms, shapes, sizes, and are found in every walk of life. In everyday life, you'll get haters for hating on you for having a nice car. Haters will hate for you having a nice house. Haters will hate for you having a nice family. The list is endless. But this is particularly true when it comes to creative, artistic, and athletic endeavours. There's a specific kind of hater that comes from that. So in this video, we're going to explore how to deal with haters, and more importantly, how to distinguish hate from genuine criticism. Before we go on, I'd like to say thank you for coming to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. It really helps me out. I'm really trying to push the channel, and the more numbers, the better. Back to it. A lot of the time we try to spend time unpacking their motives, and you know, we even like simplify it to a point, say, well, haters just hate because they're jealous. I think the reasons are a little bit more nuanced, a bit more complicated. So for example, in my particular line of work, when I used to busk a lot, and you know, when I was a street musician, I used to experience some really quite vicious kinds of hate, to be honest. I've had internet hate as well. I've had people obviously making comments online. There's not really anything you can do about that. But with the hate that you get in real life, you're getting the full picture. You're just getting everything coming at you. You know, you're getting all the information. It doesn't always have to be in this form of, you know, this big insult against your character or your ability. It can be an underhanded kind of hate. It can be like a snide remark here and then. So hate isn't always this explosive outburst of anger. I've had, you know, everything from people just making a passing remark and then I never see them again, to people outright threatening me. That's a certain kind of hate. And you do have to wonder what the motives of people like that are. And, you know, we always tend to say, like you say, you know, oh, they're just jealous and stuff like that. That is true, but it's not quite as simple. So here I'm going to try and unpack why people hate and what their motives are as well. So, and some of these are, you know, are true to some degree, but also I think some of them are just theories of mine that I'm just going to throw out there, and we'll just, you know, just see what comes of it. So I think the first one is quite a lot of it is not reflective on you, right? For example, if you're just a street musician and you're just standing there playing your tunes and having a good time, right, and somebody comes to hate on you, aside the fact that they might not even like the music you play, that's probably the biggest crime you've committed at that point. A lot of it is to do with the fact that they probably don't have that much going on in their own lives, and their existence is frankly pretty miserable. So that's another one, and they're seeing you having a good time and doing what you're doing, and it's somewhere deep down they can't hack that. They can't stand that. A second one, which I think is a little bit deeper, a bit more perhaps nuanced, is they know deep down they can't do what you can do. They know deep down that they don't have the balls to go out and play. I've had this before where people come up to me and they have this almost superiority complex. That's another type of hater as well. The one who comes up to you with a bit of a superiority complex. They'll come up to you and they can see you're doing what you're doing, and they almost think they're better than you, despite the fact that they're not in the position that you're in, where you've decided to go out and actually earn something, do something. They still think they're better than you. So it's like, oh no, I know he's out busking and everything, but it's just, but I'm better than him. But really, they're doing that because they know that they don't have the balls to go out and do it. And somewhere deep down, I think they know that. They're almost more, they're almost more malicious in some sense, because they really desperately try to undermine your performance, undermine everything that you're about. Those are like the worst types of haters for me, at least, anyway. So in this section, we're going to talk about hate versus genuine criticism. So we're going to talk about how to distinguish between them, yeah? Because sometimes they sort of look the same, but they are not if you dig deeper. So a lot of this depends on who it comes from, right? So for example, let's just start with, you know, outright unadulterated hate, right? Hate tends to come from people who are frankly not qualified to really give any kind of opinion about you or your craft or what you do, right? These are people who are just having an emotional reaction to what you're doing, and then they're just giving it out to you, right? So really, to me, that's how you can distinguish between a hater versus, like, say, genuine criticism, right? Haters tend not to have anything constructive going on, or they might tend to give you unsolicited advice at the very best. So this important one, genuine criticism. So how do you know, for example, if it's genuine criticism, right? Because a lot of people, I think, sometimes even call these people who genuinely criticize you haters as well. Now, to me, with these people who may genuinely criticize what you're doing, really to me, how I distinguish between that is who it is coming from. If, for example, genuine criticism is coming from a fellow musician who you trust and who you're pretty close to, then I think that's something that you should at least take note of that, I think. Right? You don't have to listen, you can discard it after the fact. I think you should probably listen to that if it's a fellow musician that you at least respect. So I think, like I said, you can discard it if you want. You could just say, oh, well, I don't really care, sort of thing. But I think it's important that, if a musician is giving you like sort of genuine criticism, at least listen to that and then do what you want with it afterwards. I think as time goes on and as you gain more experience, you can tell the difference between them, and they sort of become quite easy to distinguish after a while. It doesn't have this venom attached to it. It doesn't have this toxicity kind of attached to it. So I think when someone is genuinely criticizing you or has something, constructive to say to you, they tend to approach it in a bit more of a, like I said, a dispassionate way. So it's not coming from this negative place. So in summary, haters are something that you basically just have to learn to deal with and live with to an extent. I'm not saying that you have to be around haters all the time and try to prove that you can handle haters. It's not about that. But understand, if you're in an endeavor that it requires a great deal of time, investment, and a lot of skill, people will have something to say on that. It doesn't matter whether they're qualified or not, and they will feel almost as if it's their duty to tell you. They feel like all wrongs are righted with the world when they tell you how shit you are. Thanks for watching that video, everybody. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. Give the video a like, thumbs up, comment, all that good stuff. Share it, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Cheers.